It is the moment of truth. Time to see who is going to be more correct with our pregame predictions. Jamie Lynch or Renee Washington. We're getting full government. Top of the ninth, the Phillies are up 8-2. Welcome into PHLY Phillies podcast for our postgame show. We are live here at Manny Young Brewing Company. We've had some great fun. The vibes are high. The Phillies are winning. And you're tuned in with Tyler, Jamie, and myself, Renee. Now, pregame, we had predictions, Jamie. And so far, a number of our predictions have been correct.
I think you mean a number of my predictions.
No, mine were too.
Yeah, what do you got?
I said the bottom of the batting order was going to come up big today.
That's a pretty vague statement.
No, I literally said, do you remember?
Yoro.
I said Yoro, Pache, and Whit Merrifield.
You did say
and when
Pache.
you look at the three of them.
My beautiful boy, Christian Pache, had a nice right center double tonight.
Yeah, the Whit Merrifield scored a pair of runs.
He did.
Pache and Rojas each had a run.
Yeah, Trevor Rogers stinks.
We also
He's not a good pitcher. So, look, we kind of said it earlier. We were like, all right, you got to play the lefties occasionally versus the lefty pitcher. Maybe Trevor Rogers is the night to do it. And then we said this conversation is, of course, going to lead to the Phillies putting up 8 to 10 runs.
Right.
Because every time you complain about a Phillies lineup, they then go out and do what you all expected them to do and put up an 8 to 10 spot.
So,
a little double play there to start the top of the ninth.
Because it wouldn't be the Phillies without one.
Cody Clemens.
Now, you had mentioned Nick Castellanos getting a home run, and you also predicted an 8-2 score.
I did.
Allegedly. I said 9-2, which honestly I feel like
No. There's no allegedly. I went back and pulled the tape.
I'm going to have a French fry.
An old radio saying, I pulled the tape. The tape doesn't lie. He did say 8-2. You said 9-2. I was the furthest off. I said 5-2. I thought 5-2 would be a great win.
In that moment, I feel like Jamie didn't have a score, and you just piggybacked off my score.
No, I was thinking 8-2 the whole time.
You just Spencer to my Christopher and took credit.
Spencer to my Christopher. What the hell does that mean? What show is that?
Well, Spencer, I'm piggybacking.
As in Spencer Turnbull is the piggyback to Christopher Sanchez or Taiwan Walker.
I was thinking like SpongeBob or like something I didn't know.
You're so close, buddy.
Okay,
You're so close.
No.
Got it.
It's okay,
Phillies. That was a good Phillies analogy.
Yeah, and apparently went way over your head. Jamie's had a lot of Miller Lights today. Thank you, Tyler.
No, I just go to SpongeBob by default with you two when it's something I don't understand.
Which is very fair. You're
like
not wrong.
A 70% hit rate. Like, you need to learn to just go to Billy Madison when it's something I'm speaking. Same thing with, like, when I don't understand what you say, I go, oh, that's got to be a SpongeBob reference. So I was like, Spencer under the sea? I don't know that person. I know a SpongeBob under the sea.
Oh, good Lord.
All right, so, all right, I got it.
All right, good job.
I'm picking up what you're throwing down.
Yeah, welcome back, Jamie. Welcome back.
What a great spot, though. Manny Young Brew Pub and Miller Lite. Thank you so much for having us. It's been awesome here tonight. Ton of great TVs, an awesome space, just great times. And we called it, Beat the Marlins' ass. Like, don't. That's loud when you're doing that. You're putting your microphone backwards. Yeah.
Did you have it on backwards the entire time?
No, okay, first of all, there is no backwards. Microphones go both ways.
No, there is a backwards. No. They say L and R on the ears.
Wait, what?
Yeah. Yeah, that's usually your left is the mic.
That's not a thing. That's not a thing.
They say L and R on the ears.
You're pulling my string. Is that it? You're pulling my chain. You're pulling my. Whatever. That's not real. There's no L&R.
Usually
That's not real.
All right, thanks so much for tuning into the PHLY Phillies podcast. We'll talk to y'all tomorrow.
No, the issue was I'm trying to eat my French fries, and the mic is low-key, like, in the way.
That's very annoying.
Yeah, and I'm a right-handed eater. I'm an RHE, you know, so I needed some space.
Of course, yeah, RHE. My favorite baseball stat, the RHE. How's the XWO bacon in the 9th inning for the Phillies?
Ex-Wabacon.
The double play was reviewed. The ruling on this field
that was a bang play.
It stands.
JT's look good tonight. The Phillies have all looked good tonight. You know, they're all driving the ball, whether it's Rojas, Castellanos, JT, Witt. Like, everybody's hitting tonight, and Trevor Rogers stinks, and that's a great remedy. So kudos to Rob for throwing out the all-righty lineup. We'll see what tomorrow night holds with Jesus Luzardo. We'll see what kind of lineup we get, but the righty lineup tonight was right.
That's basically it. End of show. That's all we got. Did you just give Witt a nickname? Mitwit?
Mitwit.
Okay.
Nitwit?
You called him Mitwit.
Did your parents ever call you a nitwit?
No, because I was never a nitwit.
No,
Jamie, did you get called a nitwit?
Yeah, I feel like nitwit was like either them or a teacher's go-to with me.
Okay.
Quit being a nitwit.
Oh,
so maybe we call him nitwit.
Okay.
So you guys talked about Trevor Rogers and how you're ready to bat. You know, you kind of want to tee off on him a little bit.
Yeah.
The Phillies tonight, now this isn't all on Trevor Rogers, it's the bullpen as well, but the Phillies tonight so far have 13 at-bats in which their exit velocity was 99 miles an hour or greater. And if you take it to 99 flat, that was 99.9 actually. If you take it to 99 flat, it gets to 15 at-bats where the exit velo was 99 or greater. I want to say just quickly, like, parsing through these numbers, they probably were about 9 for 15 in those at-bats. They teed off tonight.
Yeah, everybody. When you see Christian Pache driving the ball opposite gap, that means you're seeing beach balls up there. Like, I don't know, you know, JT, everybody. But when Christian Pache, a guy that plays, what, every 2.5 weeks, it feels like, when he's driving balls and doubles to right center with men on base, they're seeing beach balls up there.
Yeah, I mean, and it's exactly as we mentioned pregame, the Phillies have done a really good job attacking pitchers early, and yet again, you had another instance where Rogers was only able to go 3 1/3 innings, and the Phillies got after him early. I mean, this game, once again, they scored first, which they've been doing every game minus the game that they lost to the Blue Jays, which, according to Jamie, didn't really exist.
Coward series.
So when the Phillies do a good job playing aggressive from the jump, scoring runs, attacking pitchers, making them go deep into the pitch count early, you see Rogers with 9 hits he gave up, 5 runs. 4 of them were earned, 2 walks, 3 Ks, and a 6.57 ERA on the day. Not a great day again for Rogers, and we knew this was a great opportunity for the Phillies to go out and pounce, and they did exactly that. I mean, throughout this batting order, to have 15 hits right now in this point in the game, and a lot of those came early, it didn't take them a long time to wake up. And we saw what we've seen notoriously is the games that the Phillies end up losing, and this is basic math. It's the games they start off slow. It takes them a while to get going. They got the cold bats. But those games that they traditionally, you know what you're going to get from Ranger, and now you're going out early, getting good hits, getting good at-bats, and definitely scoring off of them.
I can't wait to talk about Ranger.
I know you're excited.
Yeah. But Trevor Rogers, I just pulled up like his heat chart, and as you're seeing here on my phone, because I didn't bring a laptop tonight, I'm being responsible, because a laptop and me tonight on a parents' night out would have been a disaster. So
Jamie also doesn't put his laptop in a bag all the time. He just carries it in his hand.
He's kind of raw dog that laptop a little bit.
That's not okay.
So I'm looking at Trevor Rogers' heat chart here.
Jesus.
He threw 3 pitches tonight, Renee. The 4-seamer, the slider, and the change. And as you can see here, the 4-seamer was, as we talked about pregame show,
terrible.
Middle. Just not, like, there's no red zone to it.
Middle, and middle up are bad locations
Yeah.
with a 92-mile-an-hour fastball.
Nothing lower. And then the slider, he threw 16.5% of the time tonight. And as you can see, that red spot right in the middle, hot zone. He was missing a lot low and inside. And then he threw the changeup 28% of the time. Also missed a lot middle. So when you look at his heat chart, as Jose Alvarado comes in to close out the game, the Phillies punished.
Yeah.
I mean, he probably just needs work, I'm assuming, Jose Alvarado. But the Phillies punished anything in the zone tonight with his 3 pitches. Trevor Rogers is not serious. The Phillies are serious. sometimes it is just easy when you see something like this, and the Phillies took advantage.
And by the way, guys, those numbers on balls that hit 99 miles an hour or more, they were 11 for 16 tonight, including 5 of 7 off of Trevor Rogers. So the balls that they were hitting hard, they weren't getting cheated. They weren't getting, like, there was no hard luck losing when they were hitting the ball. Like, when they were squaring up baseballs tonight, they were hitting the ball not just hard, but they were being effective. 11 for 16 off of anything is insane. To go 11 for 16 off of a very specific sample size of balls, you know, exit velo is just off the charts.
And that right there is why Rogers ended up throwing 81 pitches to Ranger Suarez's whomping 96. Now, of course, Ranger went 7 innings.
All right, we're talking about Ranger time?
I know.
Let me get a cigarette and
meanwhile,
some bonbons.
Rogers was only able to go 3 1/3 innings.
Are
Again,
bonbons still a thing?
Yeah,
Are they still out there?
Yeah, for
They're
sure.
thriving?
They're thriving. I don't know about thriving, but they exist. But
Let's
again,
talk
this is the difference.
Ranger,
This is the difference. So Ranger Suarez had a day. We expected this from him. I know we knew coming into today, Ranger Suarez had a chance of making some history, of being undefeated, going against the Marlins, a team that's been struggling, and maintaining that undefeated streak, and did just that. Now, Ranger's final numbers, he ended up throwing 97 pitches, 63 strikes, 7 innings, of course. Great decision to pull him after 7.
63 strikes at 97.
Exactly. Only gave up 3 hits and, of course, no runs and 2 walks and 9 Ks in that time to finish with a nice 1.50 ERA on the night. And Ranger Suarez, Mr. April, pitcher of the month for the NL in the month of April, continue to come out today. And listen, he took a Marlins team that has been struggling and did exactly what you're supposed to do. Don't give them any chance to even get on base. Just 3 hits you gave up. You're not walking guys. You're not allowing them to get anything going, which allows your offense to do what they do best. And that is why Ranger Suarez is so fun to watch, because he takes care of business every game, and it doesn't matter who they're playing. You know what you're going to get from Ranger. It's hard to hit his pitches. He throws so many different options at you. And Ranger, yet again, was your adorable Ranger Suarez. Rock solid.
Love that guy. But as you said, 63 of what, 97, was it? Like, you know you have to be on your toes with him, because he doesn't nibble. He attacks. He goes after you, and whether you don't know what's coming, he's tremendous. And guys, I think, are a little on edge, because not only is he going to throw strikes, but he's going to throw 5 different pitches for strikes. So guys know there's not a pitch off. There's not a hitter's count where he's not going to attack you.
Right.
You just have to be on edge with him. And he is, can I just curse for a minute? He's fucking amazing. Like, he is really.
I mean, I can't stop you.
I did it, guys. I cursed. He's, like.
Did you just ask for permission to curse? What's
kidding.
wrong with you?
Oh, Nick with a catch in right field.
Nick Castellanos.
I told you, he's back home in his home state. He's got those Florida Rays
Shoulder
pumping
bump.
on it, yeah.
Ready?
I'm afraid I'll knock you off the chair. But, like, Ranger, I don't want to make a definitive statement as of, like, right now, but I think this guy's going to be in the Cy Young race.
He is in the Cy Young race.
Well, yes, but it's May, right?
Well, yeah, but a great way to be in it is to start in it and stay in it.
But, like, this guy shows no signs of. There's nothing about him that isn't going to translate to a full season of baseball as long as he stays healthy.
Correct. I was going to say the only thing right now that seems like it would knock him off is injury. And knock on wood, he can stay healthy. But it is,
battles, man.
He does.
Is awesome.
He does. And the biggest thing about him that we've talked about in looking at how he pitches, you keep guys guessing. They have no idea how to prepare and what to look for. As JT looks like he got hit off of that pitch by Jose.
He's taking a beating behind the plate this year.
Beat up. You see him shaken up yet again.
So, you guys talk about the
waiting on the replay
the
for this
heat map that Trevor Rogers put together today, or over the season, that's been really poor.
Right in the nuts.
Rangers.
Right in the nuts for JT again.
It
I'm
was
sorry.
more like inner groin.
Oh. All right, go ahead, Tyler.
Rangers has been the
we all cringed.
Rangers has been the polar opposite. So I will say this. The four-seam fastball has been up in the zone a little bit more than you'd like it to be, especially to right-handed hitters. But the sinker is out over the plate to righties, and it busts a left-handed hitter on the inside, right? You're going to break your bat when you do that.
Where he does miss, he's missing in the proper spots.
Right, in the good spots.
Right.
The curveball, the heat map is lower third, it's middle, it's bottom middle, and it's out of the strike zone. The changeup is almost entirely out of the zone, and the cutter, which he's pretty much only throwing to right-handed hitters, is on the fist, right? It's up in that upper corner quadrant where the hitter sits, and it's on the fist, and it's exactly where it needs to be. This guy basically has the command of the strike zone on both sides of the plate with at least 5 pitches, which is just off the charts.
Yeah.
He kind of reminds me of, because he throws harder than like a Jamie Moyer or a Greg Maddux, so I'm not trying. And Greg Maddux is like the crown jewel of like knowing how to pitch and situational
For sure.
and just having your command. But like he almost reminds me of just like a harder throwing Jamie Moyer. Like he just knows what to do, when to do it, and he knows where he's going to put it.
I was sitting with my buddies, the Shawns that you met today.
Yeah, the two Shawns. What do you say, two Shawns?
They said to me, what word would you use to describe Ranger? He goes, would you use the word...
Inflappable.
He said, one of them said, would you use the word crafty? And I said, no, I think that's a disrespect. Because crafty to me insinuates junk baller.
Doing better than yourself.
Exactly.
You might throw 4 or 5 pitches, but like you top out at 90 and you've got a nice cutter and a nice whatever. Like Ranger's better than crafty. He knows how to craftily pitch.
He's like Moyer, but with gas. You know what I mean?
I say because crafty,
fair.
I feel like means like your talent isn't fully there. You have to be creative in ways to get the numbers.
Like Moyer was crafty.
Yeah,
Moyer was the
but
guy
I don't
that
think
kept
Ranger
you.
is that.
Definition of crafty.
That's crafty.
Maddox was crafty, but great.
By the way.
So I think that it's almost disrespectful. I don't want to say disrespectful, but it feels disrespectful to call Ranger crafty.
Wait, what's the celebration here? You go.
I hate to say this, but Jamie Lynch is
Nailed
correct.
it.
The final score, which is just ridiculous because you piggybacked off my
No, I did
prediction.
not. I felt 8-2 in my loins.
So Jamie Lynch predicted 8-2. He predicted a Nick Castellanos home run, and Nick Castellanos did hit a home run, a 400-foot home run at a 104.4 mile per hour exit velocity. So everything that Jamie Lynch has predicted was correct.
I nailed it tonight. Bet Parks, if you're heading to the Bet Parks Sportsbook.
Jamie his credit. You want more fries with that W?
Oh, you got some honey mustard and barbecue. So here's the thing. When I'm not placing a bet and I tell you about a bet, I didn't place the bets tonight.
Right.
I do this for the people.
I do this for the people.
Yeah.
Wow, look at you, Mr. Selfless.
Because if I bet it, I'm going to mush it.
I think you need to take this moment of Zen. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah, Ranger, just
I'm gonna let you finish. I'm gonna let you finish, Taylor. But right now we're getting a Ranger Suarez
highlight package. Yeah.
Highlights of Rangers.
Talk Ranger to me.
Incredible performance today. And the thing about him is he's just. I feel like he's so steady and so unpredictably predictable.
Yeah.
Like you don't know what pitch you're gonna get from him,
and
but you know it's gonna be great. And then he just walks off the field calm, cool, and collected. Like, yep, I did that. 7 innings.
I didn't have my
3
typical
hits,
viewing
no
tonight
runs.
where I'm like checking out Pitching Ninja and all that. But if you did an overlay of his pitches, his arm slot, his delivery, all that is the same.
And as we see, he became the first Phillies pitcher to win 7 on their first 8 starts since Steve Carlton in 1981.
And
Tyler had already been sharing some of those those nuggets, the nuggies pregame. So Rangers solidifying himself with some history. What else, Tyler? You got more?
On top of that, the complete list of Major League pitchers with 7 wins this year. Now,
where are you, Tyler?
Take it for we're not messing around today. Small sample size early in the season. Plus, you know how I feel about wins as a pitcher stat. It can be deceiving because Taijuan Walker won a boatload of games last year. The amount of pitchers, the complete list of pitchers with 7 wins this year.
Do I need a cigarette?
Is Ranger Suarez.
Wow. And how long? Say it one more time for the people in the back.
So, the amount of pitchers this year. The complete list of pitchers this year with 7 wins to start the year is Ranger Suarez.
That's it. End of show. The end. Have a good night.
I mean,
And now we're getting a nice, is this Christian Pache?
It looks like
postgame?
Pache.
See, can I get some credit? Because I did say.
Rojas.
That's Rojas,
Oh, dang it. I thought it was him. I
Rojas
did see number 18.
He had a home run, right?
I was forced to pick. I originally said we're going to get big games from Whit Merrifield.
That's James. That's
Yoro,
Diego. My
that
man
is Diego.
James.
That is correct. And as you see, Yoro 3 for 5 tonight, 2 singles. That solo home run. Nice to see him get another home run, his second of the season. And for Yoro, he has him, Whit, and Christian. This is what you expect from them. This is a chance you get the left-handed pitcher. You get the bottom of the batting order with them.
They're getting Diego.
There's Bryson and Brandon. So there they are, guys. They are getting on the field.
Poor Diego. You know,
Diego's awesome, by the way. Shout out to Diego. I've chatted with him before. He's a super nice guy.
He doesn't deserve the water
bottle.
bottle.
Yes, he does.
No.
It's a team effort. When one wins, we all win. Yoro doing well. Diego's doing well. They're all doing well.
What are your thoughts on the cutoff hoodie?
I love it. I want one.
Do you?
Yeah.
I don't think I could rock one.
Yeah, I would like a cutoff hoodie.
I don't think I could do it.
I would like that. And you know what else I would like,
Jamie?
Jamie?
I feel like I'd look like a fat-ass Bill Belichick.
But you know what can help you not feel fat?
Tell me about it.
Can help you feel great.
Tell me all about it, Renee. Talk Ranger to me.
I'm going to actually talk Olipop to you.
Ooh.
Because our friends over at Olipop have what you need to get all the prebiotics, all the healthy benefits. They've got plant-based botanical ingredients for you. Fiber, 9 grams of fiber per can, 2 to 5 grams of sugar per can. And with our friends at Olipop, you also get great, delicious flavors. We've had them ourselves. The ginger ale, the classic root beer, classic grape, orange squeeze. They have so many different options for you that you can try out.
Tropical Punch is real good.
I haven't even had that one.
Oh, yeah.
Lemon lime, tropical punch. And over at Olipop, you get the ability to take care of your gut health. So now when you're rocking that cutoff hoodie, you can look good and you can feel good because over at Olipop, with their sodas, they have the ability to now help your digestive health because 2 out of 3 Americans, that's a lot of people in this room, are dealing with digestive health issues.
66%.
That's good math, Diego. Great math.
66.7, I believe.
Okay.
Roughly.
Good job. Okay.
66.63.
So with Olipop, you can take care of your digestive health because you don't want to be one of the 95% of Americans not getting the fiber that you need. And also with Olipop, it's great that you can be able to have the opportunity to buy them at 30,000 different retailers across the country. That's right, on the shelves of Wawa, ShopRite, Wegmans, GoPuff. You can buy them online on Amazon or on drinkolipop.com. So today, take advantage of the opportunity to drink healthy and make sure you're taking care of your bodies. You can use the code PHLY20 for 20% off of your next Olipop order. That discount does only apply to one-time orders, not to subscription orders. Olipop is sold again online, drinkolipop.com, Amazon, or 30,000 different retailers nationwide that you can check out. Olipop. All right.
Yeah, and one of those retailers might be Rite Aid. Because our local Rite Aid is a staple of the community. When I was in South Philly, a Rite Aid was my go-to spot. And right now, if you need some vaccines or you need some immunizations for your family, for you or yourself, most are no cost with insurance through government plans like Medicare, and most insurance plans will cover your immunizations to get ahead of the curve. And if you have questions about vaccines, stop in and talk to a Rite Aid pharmacist because they're there for you. They'll give you state, age, and health restrictions that may apply to certain vaccines you're looking for, but book your appointment today. Rite Aid pharmacists in Pennsylvania can immunize 18 plus 1 day for most vaccines and age 3 plus for flu and COVID vaccines as well. Shingles, they got that going on. 1 in every 3 people in the United States will have shingles in their lifetime. Chickenpox, everybody, as a kid is worried about the chickenpox. More than 99% of Americans are born before 1980 had chickenpox. And even if they don't remember it, as you get older, your risks of shingles and other such things increases. So the CDC recommends adults age 50 plus receive 2 doses of the shingles vaccine given 2 to 6 months apart. All this and more can be talked about with your Rite Aid pharmacist. So stop into select Rite Aid stores. They have dedicated pharmacists ready to administer vaccines and answer all of your questions. Have questions on what immunizations you need? Well, not sure you're up to date? Feel nervous to ask questions? A Rite Aid pharmacist excuse me, I need a sip of Miller Lite. We'll make personalized recommendations based on your personal health history and discuss any concerns. No questions are too small at Rite Aid. Just walk in or schedule an appointment Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. State, age, and health restrictions may apply. Ask a Rite Aid pharmacist for details. Got a little thirsty there. I had a little scratch on my throat there at the end. I thought I could make it. And sometimes, Renee, you know, you've been in this industry a long time. Like, sometimes you're like, you have to make a decision. Like, all right, am I going to take a pregnant pause and a sip here to quell the beast, the scratch in the back of my throat? Or do you try and power through? You know what I mean?
I'm proud of you.
I tried to power through
I'm so proud of you.
It didn't make it.
Oh, man.
What can you do?
It just always cracks me up when you have been drinking and you're trying to like be serious for a moment.
Well, I was trying to power through the read, and I had a scratch real bad, and I wanted a sip, and I made the wrong choice. I should have taken a sip of delicious Miller Lite.
All right, so welcome in now officially to the victory. Oh, it's still happening. The victory post-game show because the Phillies did get
you've never had a cough?
No, I don't. I've learned how to not cough, Jamie.
Wow.
I'm just kidding.
What a pro.
Well, I actually am not kidding, but people are going to be like judging me. So the Phillies win 8-2, and now we are heading into the fun part of being able to talk about a nice win. Pre-game, as we were talking through our predictions and our thoughts about the matchup and what we anticipated, we were hoping they'd start the weekend off with a nice, easy win, and they did exactly that. So welcome in Mickey. We've got Jose, Jackie Moon,
What do you say, Jackie
Bob
Moon?
Wright, Hey Raleigh,
Everyone
26,
love one another.
WYRN.
Everybody love everybody.
Let's all share our excitement in the
Says
chat
love.
for the Phillies getting a nice dub. Brian as well. So here's the thing. We now saw today with the Phillies, Ranger Suarez have another fantastic game. Nick Castellanos back home knocks a beautiful home run in the second. We also saw him just continue to show that he's working off that slump. Nick Castellanos needed some family time, he needed some downtime, and coming into the night, as he was batting at .333 and 10 for 30 with 3 doubles and 1 homer in his last 8 games, add another home run to that ledger.
Who called that?
Jamie called it. See, I'm not the only one that brags when I do things correct.
I didn't actually look at the odds, but I would imagine he was like a plus 370.
But it takes like 84 Miller Lights for Jamie to brag. You just brag because you want to brag.
That is true.
I would imagine he was like plus 375 for a home run.
That's fair.
Probably about that would make sense.
Okay. We
So
also
hopefully he
saw
cashed on
5
that.
different Phillies have multiple hits on the night. When you look across
They were raking.
When you look across the roster today, they were. I mean, it wasn't even a specific person outside. I mean, Ranger obviously jumps off the page.
Kyle
And
with
Nick,
2, JT
but-
with 3, Bryce with 2, Bohm with 1, Castellanos with 1, Sosa with 1, Pache with 2, and Rojas with 3.
Yep.
That is a well-rounded hitting display.
The wild thing.
And when I see something like that, the wild thing.
Well, I was gonna say the wild thing about this is, but I was trying to let you finish.
This tells me that the other pitcher sucked. You know what I mean? Like, you can say your hitters were dialed in as much as you want. When I see a team that almost everyone has a hit except Witt, who got on base with 2 walks.
He actually, with both of those walks, he scored.
Yeah, and then Cody Clemens as a pinch hit late are the only guys not to get hits. You can give the Phillies all the credit you want. Sometimes you just have to point at Trevor Rogers and go, that guy stinks. So good for the Phillies, though. I'm not taking anything away from
Well, you guys talked about it. There's 3 lefties this weekend. You really hope that you can jump on 2 of them. The likelihood is that
Luzardo's the one you probably
you probably are
realistically are going to have a battle.
You're going to have to grind to get to score some runs off Luzardo because of the fact that he knows how to pitch. He knows how to pitch. And listen, Braxton Garrett's a good pitcher. We talked about him on Friday.
First start though,
but it's his first start of the season. He's coming back from injury. You have an opportunity to jump on him, especially if you do win tomorrow night. I don't want to say it puts onus on you to win the series, because sweeping a series is hard, and you've already won the series, but you have the ability to say, all right, we jumped on the bad pitcher. We, scratched out some runs and won a game against Luzardo, who's got good stuff. And now we have an opportunity for a guy who, yes, is good, statistically speaking, has some good numbers, but we've seen him plenty of times, and we have the ability to jump on him while he makes his first start back from rehab.
Yeah. And the other thing
this
I know,
is not the AAA Braxton.
Jackie Moon is saying in the chat, the Phillies did go 3 for 18 with runners in scoring position, which Jackie's saying is pretty embarrassing regardless of the win. Honestly, I look at a game like today, and someone like Whit Merrifield, as you mentioned, doesn't have a hit. Whit Merrifield gets walked twice, scores 2 runs. So when it counted, yes, there were times that you left runners stranded, but we also saw the Phillies hitting home runs. We saw them getting RBIs. I mean, they had 7 RBIs on the night, and they were when it counted.
When you got heavy hitters
runs
like Pache and Rojas behind you, you just get on base, let those guys do the dirty work. Of course, Johan and Christian are going to drive you in. Of course they are.
Exactly. Expected nothing less. So overall,
Christian Pache plays every 3 weeks. Of course he's going to come up with big hits.
Always ready. It's that next player up mentality. Cody Clemens, Christian Pache, with Merrifield, doesn't matter. But games like this are just great to be able to have an 8-2 victory that you never at any moment felt like the Phillies were going to lose or they were going to blow the lead. And that is one of the differences also. This team's doing a good job of getting up, holding on to the lead, and I don't care who they're playing against, to do that game in and game out is impressive. Because there are so many times you can easily look at the fact you're up 5-0, for example, and take your foot off the gas and get complacent. Nope, the Phillies continue scoring. They continue going, in and out of each inning, not giving up hits, not giving up runs. And so I love the fact that they're putting teams away, taking care of business. And Ranger obviously is a big part of that, but this team as a whole, they don't allow themselves to dip off.
No, and we read the Rob quote pregame about manufacturing your own energy. The ballpark was a little more full than I thought. But we talked about this the other day. I think you can finally close the chapter now on the Marlins being the Phillies Achilles heel and pain in the ass. And I think that just is a demarcation mark of the Phillies being a really good baseball team now. Because they're not playing down to their opponents like they did in the past. Even Bryce's first year or two, before things really got established, they had a lot of good players, but they weren't really necessarily a great team yet. And they struggled with teams like the Marlins. And they would play up to a team like the Braves.
Exactly.
So, there was a lot of fluctuation. Now that they're a great team, I think you can close the chapter on Philly struggling against the Marlins. Those days are over. They are taking care of the weaker opponents. And when you have a guy like Trevor Rogers, you just know you have to pounce him. And that team went out there and was aggressive at the plate tonight. And they were we're the better team, and we're gonna beat you up.
Yeah.
And it's just great to see. It's a really good sign for this team long term.
It is. It's very nice to be able to know that regardless of who they're playing, when it's game time, the Phillies are always going to be ready. They're going to play against the good teams the same way they play against these teams that are under 500. And that consistency is key, because we see so many teams that are up and down and very, much focused on who their opponent is and playing to the level of their opponent. But come game time, the Phillies are always ready, and come game time, you too can be ready with the GameTime app. You can download the app today and take advantage of some great deals. They always have low price for you, and also with those low prices, they also allow you to be able to see your seats, so you have a nice view of where you're going to be sitting at the ballpark, the field, the court. You can buy tickets for comedy shows, concerts, games, and with the GameTime app.
My girls used it on Sunday. They're going to Raffi, and they use GameTime at the Met. And they looked at their seat view.
It's so funny because I literally knew you were about to say something. I could feel
it.
Raffi on Sunday with the GameTime app.
Views.
So the great thing about the GameTime app is it's not just to go see the Phillies continue to win and watch them throttle teams like the Marlins, but you can have your kids go to Raffi on Sunday.
Yeah.
You can take advantage of great opportunities to make sure that the ticket buying process, I should say, is not stressful. So take the guesswork out of buying Major League Baseball tickets today. Download the GameTime app, create an account, and use that code PHLY to get $20 off of your first purchase. Terms do apply. Again, create that account, use that code PHLY, get $20 off, and you can utilize the GameTime app to get those last-minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed, to show up, know where your seats are going to be, have a great time, and when you get to the door, be able to just scan your tickets to go right in. GameTime app, guys.
Yeah, go check out Rafi on Sunday using the GameTime app.
I used the GameTime app this past weekend.
Did you?
It wasn't quite Rafi. It was a little bit heavier than Rafi, but I did use the GameTime.
Well, how heavy was it?
I saw In Flames.
In Flames. Oh, yeah, I love that album.
That's a band.
The whole collection.
That's a band.
I love it all.
Oh, no.
But that's the beauty of GameTime is whether it's Rafi or In Flames, they got you covered. And you know what else has you covered? My delightful friends right here at Miller Lite. And we're here at Manayunk Brew Pub, which is a great bar. I love it here. And like any great bar or great establishment, they're going to carry Miller Lites for you because it's the original light beer since 1975. And look, if a place doesn't have Miller Lite, I'm going, oh, come on. You can't be serious. You're not a serious establishment. But Miller Lite is the mark of a beer drinker's light beer because it's simple. It's less filling, it's 96 calories, and it tastes like a light beer should taste. It's a very simple process. Give me a cold, refreshing beer that tastes like a beer that doesn't fill me up. Boom, you got Miller Lite. 96 calories. And when friends and family are around, whether you're watching a Phillies game or going to Rafi on Sunday or going down to whatever it is, whether it's a backyard bonfire, a sporting event, a comedy show, whatever it is, Miller Lite is going to be there for you. It's the beer that strips away everything you don't need and holds on to what matters most. A light beer that tastes like beer should. The original light beer since 1975, and you don't have to choose what's best. Miller Lite has great taste and is less filling. Tastes like Miller time. To get Miller Lite delivered right to your door, visit MillerLite.com/PHLY Phils, or you can find it pretty much anywhere that sells beer. Celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. 96 calories per 12 ounces. Fewer carbs and calories than a regular premium light beer.
It was like getting attacked by a little gnat.
I saw that.
Yeah,
It's been hanging around us.
It's trying to join the show. And as you guys are joining the show, hit that thumbs up button.
Please.
Let us know your thoughts in the chat. I know I'm seeing some conversation about the Phillies wanting the NL East crown this year. Vic is saying they want that crown. Barbara Carroll and different people, Mickey Durkin, are having a conversation about Florida not being deserving of baseball teams, but also...
Which is such a shame, too, because it's a really good state for baseball. I think somebody put it in the chat. They said...
California, Texas, and Florida have like the
Jackie
three
Moon
biggest like
said
baseball.
The state that has contributed the second most Major League Baseball players in history. Florida's an incredible baseball
and
state.
the Latina vibes, the Cuban culture down there, like it's a baseball like crock pot, and unfortunately, whether it's Tampa or Miami, it just can't catch on professionally. And that probably has something to do with the ownership being low budget.
Sure.
Selling
I
off.
always feel like with Miami teams, and much like some California teams, there almost is also so many other things. Like, I hate to use that, but you're competing with, the fact that there's yacht parties and year-round beaches,
life.
and like you're competing with literally life. Whereas
here, no state income tax.
That's a positive. But like sports are like one of the big things about Philly because that unites us.
Well, it's like California. It's like they're fake fans because there's so much other great stuff to do outdoors all the time.
So they're casual fans.
In the chat, Kryptone says too, like there's a ton of transplants in Florida who come from all over. Where they come from here, they come from Virginia, they come from New York.
I gotta live down there 51% of the year.
So there's a ton of people. I mean, we have a ton of people that hang out in our chat quite frequently that reside in Florida.
Florida guy?
But they're Phillies fans. They grew up here, they grew up in the area, and they moved down there because it's warm and there's no sales tax. And
I get it.
I agree with that, though. I know, as you're saying, Kryptone, about the transplants, and Tyler, you're mentioning, like, you get generational fans in areas like ours, whereas other cities, those big markets where a lot of, as you mentioned, you might be moving down there just for the summer or half the year or whatever it is. You're not truly, having generation after generation the way that, like, our families, I know all three of us grew up Philly sports fans, and our families were that way, and our parents' parents and parents' parents. So
and now Jamie's raising the next generation of
correct.
Philly fans.
My daughters already have the sickness.
Right, like that's something that starts at a young age. Like I know, I already have my nephew trash talking kids in kindergarten. He's getting into fights over like Jalen Hurts and stuff. Like it starts young. We get them going early. But also just some other nuggies for you guys. As you guys are tuned in, Kevin, Jackie, Barbara, Kryptone, Miller, Mickey, excuse me, Miller. I got Miller Lite on the brain apparently.
I mean,
is the fact
don't tell me to take another sip.
There you go, Jamie. Is the fact that today, yes, we did see with that win, Ranger Suarez is now at a 1.50 ERA after 8 starts this season. You did also get to see Soto come out there, and he, of course, did, gave up 2 runs. But
I don't know, were they charged earned or unearned? Tyler, can you look that up?
They were charged as earned runs.
That's bullshit.
Yeah.
Because Christian Pache was flying to that liner towards the warning track, was there too early and missed.
Right.
That's an error.
That's an error.
That is not.
Well, so here's the thing. Nothing's an error anymore, apparently.
I know.
But I feel like this
has been
season,
ridiculous.
That was an error on Pache.
Because there's been times, to be honest, Trey had errors that clearly looked like errors, and they would change the ruling and say it wasn't.
Ricky Bisalico has been bitching about this for like 2 years and how much he hates the scoring system now. Like, that's not fair to Soto.
Correct.
Because these pitchers are judged and crucified on their numbers. And, look, over the end of the year, 2 earned runs in a minimal innings pitch sample size is, that's kind of big. And that's on Christian Pache tonight. That's not on Soto.
Yeah, and so Soto in that 1 inning, as you mentioned, gave up 2 hits, gave up 2 runs, a walk, 1 K. But unfortunately, as we all saw, if anybody was looking at the box,
prediction though.
It did help you get your. So Soto was just helping you out, Jamie, selfishly. Or I should say Pache, because it was more on him than Soto.
Pache.
So Pache basically helped Jamie's prediction be correct.
So
you're welcome.
For your guys' example, real quick. So coming into today, obviously Soto struggled with, statistically has struggled. He's appeared in 13 games. He has a 6.1 ERA coming into today's game. That doesn't get called. That gets called an error, like it probably, could be or should be. He's now at 11 1/3 with the same amount of earned runs scored. So his ERA obviously is going to go down. He'd be at 11 1/3 with 7 runs allowed. Instead, he's at 11 1/3 with 9 earned runs, which means the ERA balloons to almost 9.
That's fucked up.
It's getting to a point where it's going to be really hard for Soto to come back from, even to get that back to like a 4-5.
Oh, he would have to get to like 100 and. He would have to get like to 100 in his pitch.
He only threw 60 innings last year.
Yeah.
He's already at about 17-18% of what he threw last year.
Of deflating that.
He's never going to clear 4, let alone maybe clear 5.
And that's, it's one ruling, but, Devon, love you.
Hi. Well,
that sucks for Soto. It does.
It's frustrating
because that's an error.
Because exactly.
He was there in enough time, routine, boom. He needs to come up with that. And we're not going to crucify him because they put up 8 runs and it didn't matter.
Yeah,
but for Soto's sake, I feel like
individually, as you're looking at, stats matter. Your ERA matters. How many runs you're giving up matters. Exactly. And like Tyler's saying, it drastically changes your ERA, and that's not your fault. No. Pache has to make that catch. He's got to make that play. So it is definitely a little interesting to see across the league. We've been seeing, the way that they call errors has been changing. And I know, Krypton, you're saying that the league has, since last season, has really eliminated the error to give hits that aren't deserved. Jackie Moon's mentioning that the game is consistently trying to have pitchers give up more, so there are more high-scoring games. The fact, Ranger had a 1.50 ERA is actually nuts when you think of it. Yeah, I don't know the reasoning behind it, but I do know that there's got to be more consistency with errors. So that being said, now the Phillies do move along to play tomorrow for a chance to go up 2-0 on the series, get 1 game closer to a sweep. As we talked about Jesus Luzardo before, and we've mentioned him, we do get Taijuan Walker versus Jesus Luzardo. Ooh. And we've seen so far in his career, Taijuan with a FIP of 3.62, and also has been working back, as we know. And so he has an ERA coming in at a 3.42 and a whip of 1.223. And as a career numbers, and even for Jesus Luzardo, he in his career has absolutely been pretty decent. at times.
He's got a good. 4. It's okay.
Comes in with a career ERA of a 4. He gives up 7.7 hits per 9, and is has had a career whip of 1.098 and a FIP of 3.9. And it is a good chance for the Phillies yet again to get after another pitcher. And this Luzardo-Walker matchup should be an interesting one. I'm intrigued to see, more importantly, how Taijuan Walker comes out, because every game is a chance to continue to watch his progression back. Obviously, starting pitching has been a consistent conversation with how well Spencer Turnbull's been looking and how Christopher Sanchez has been struggling a little bit as of late, and Taijuan Walker working back. So another day for Taijuan Walker to show he's on track, he's on pace, and ready to consistently lock in as a starting pitcher for this group.
Yeah, so the thing I'm going to be watching with Taijuan tomorrow, was it a 4:10 start? Is that what it is? Do you have that in front of you?
Yeah,
I think
believe
it's 4:10.
so.
Don't give Taijuan the 7th inning yet.
Right.
He's been spectacular
Yes,
through 6 innings in both starts. Really, really good. And then they've sent him out because they're like, well, he's been so good. How do you not give him the 7th? And the 7th has been an implosion inning. I think our own John Foley had the stat. What was it? 66 ERA.
67 and a
Yeah.
half.
Yeah, 67 and a half ERA in the 7th inning. So if he pitches 6 great innings tomorrow, pull him.
Mm-hmm. I think it's
Don't
also
think too hard about it.
It's a sign that Taijuan also just might not be ready for that.
Yeah.
And that's fine. He is coming back from being on the IL. He was coming back from, AAA starts and his rehabbing. And so if he's not ready to go 7, don't force him to go 7. And we've seen, as we talked about, the 7th inning is where he gives up 2-3 runs. So tomorrow.
Last year was the 1st inning. This year it's the 7th inning. So know your guy.
But I'd rather it be the 7th inning than the 1st inning, because
you've got a couple of guys on this
you can
Marlins.
pull them in the 6th.
Granted, this is not a great Marlins team, but you have a couple of guys who have hit Taijuan Walker a little bit. Josh Bell is 4 for 13 in a small sample size. He's driven in 3. Jazz Chisholm sitting over 400 against him. Brian De La Cruz is 8 for 20 against him. And as a collective unit, the guys that have faced Taijuan Walker in their careers, they're slashing 284, 384, 446. So if he pitches well through 5 or 6 tomorrow,
get him out of there.
I think that you can allow, you don't have to push him further than he needs to. And yes, I understand, you can serve the bullpen and you're trying to, monitor a pitch count. If he's at 82 pitches and he pitched
let him
6
walk
innings,
off feeling
if he
good.
pitches 6 innings, a 2-run ball, that can be it. I promise you that can be it.
Yeah, totally. If Paul Skeens is getting 80 pitches tomorrow, give Taijuan 80. Just let him leave the field feeling good. He gave his team a win.
Yeah, and that's what I think it comes down to. Do you want to stretch him and have him go that 7th inning to see if he can go a little bit deeper into the game and now he's giving up a few runs? Or would you rather pull him after 6? He's feeling good. He hasn't given up a run, and he's, feeling more confident. So tomorrow is another chance to see, first of all, how Taijuan and Rob is managing Taijuan, but how Taijuan is managing the game. And then also, of course, to see again, can the Phillies continue? They have notoriously been good this season. They have, I believe, I have them at 4 sweeps on the season. So a chance to get their 5th sweep of the season this weekend. In the 11 series that they've played so far, they have won 6 of them. Of course, they split 3 of them, and then they lost the first 2. But we don't talk about those.
I mean, the first one.
I like saying that. I enjoy saying this just because, Jamie, you always believe it's not real.
Well, I mean,
the first 2 series are birds to you. They didn't happen.
Yeah.
They don't exist.
No. The second series was real. The first one was.
Okay.
It didn't count.
So Jamie out here blaming big traffic again.
Yeah. I mean, it was traffic's fault.
The traffic conspiracy stands, okay? And I'm not going to get into that right now because we're going to get ready to wrap up. But I stand by my traffic conspiracy.
And that is, you need to name names here. Is it Big Gas?
I don't know yet. I got to do some more digging. But I do think it might be the oil.
I need you to get that tinfoil hat on and really crack this case.
I do think that it might be the oil and gas, fossil fuels or something somewhere.
You think BP execs or somewhere in their lizard people costumes?
Because why are you always closing the roads at the start and finish of the Phillies game?
Create more traffic.
How many times have we seen updates from the Phillies coming in and out of Citizens Bank Park?
Don't get me started on
roads
the
are getting
traffic out of the
closed at
games.
1 o'clock for a 105 start or 4:10. That to me is a conspiracy. Somebody's planning that.
Here's my thing.
Oh no.
Real quick, leaving the stadium. You pay $25 to get in there to park.
Okay.
Sometimes less, maybe if you go to Jetro or down there. What other part of the world would you pay that much money to for a parking spot, and then they just say, oh, you're in, you're done?
Theme parks. That's it. That's the only other spot is theme parks.
Wait, what do you mean?
That they just stop caring. They don't try to help you get out.
Oh,
they
yeah,
don't
they just
direct
take your
traffic.
money.
They just take your money, and then they're like, oh, yeah, you're screwed. Oh, pedestrians are walking everywhere. Children are walking everywhere.
Yeah, because leaving the game is rough. It's really bad.
It's the worst.
It's really dangerous.
I don't know, guys.
The experience.
I got out in 20 minutes on Tuesday.
What's the best? When did you leave?
After the 9th inning, the game was over.
Where did you park? Right by an exit?
Kind of.
That's the other thing. You have to park by the exit.
We got really lucky with the seats where we were up the aisle and gone. Like we were right by a gate.
When you get out, that's a high. You're going to be chasing that high the rest of the year.
I have never gotten out of a stadium faster than I did Tuesday. I was out in 30 seconds on Tuesday night.
Well, let's see how fast we can get out of this show, because y'all are talking about parking and gas and traffic, and let's see if we can get out of here, because we do have a nice weekend ahead of us of hopefully another chance for the Phillies to get a sweep. We'll see if Taijuan Walker can continue tomorrow. I know in the chat you guys are mentioning some thoughts. Jersey JJ is saying, I think we're getting Sixto Sanchez tomorrow. Barbara's saying how these games are more like scrimmages. I know Krypton is saying flames emoji because the Phillies are 25-8 in their last 33, which is incredible. Again, this team is off to a fantastic start in the season. I don't care who they're playing.
Guy, right? No? Isn't he a bullpen guy with that big belly?
Yeah.
So maybe?
I don't know. Maybe we are getting him. Who knows?
I'll be honest. I haven't been tracking Sixto Sanchez's starts this year. Phillies won that trade like 2 years ago.
But we do know that we will be back live on Monday. We'll have our usual show. Let me just double check the schedule next week. Monday we're back live at 11 a.m. We do also have an exciting.
Only 25.
We do have an exciting week ahead of us, because next Saturday we have another live opportunity to hang with you guys. We've been hanging with you guys here in Manayunk tonight at Manayunk Brewing. Next Saturday on the 18th, we will have a tailgate for you guys. You can head on over to our website at allphly.com for those details. We've got a tailgate, and we're going to be giving away tickets for you guys where you can, some of you diehards are going to win some tickets from Jamie, Tyler, and myself for that May 18th game, where you're going to get to go to our tailgate and also be able to go to the game. We're going to have great food from Cavs Catering. We're going to have Olipop there, giving out some Olipops for you guys to try, and it's just going to be a fun day for us. It should be good weather. It should be great baseball as the Phillies play the Nationals next Saturday, I believe is
another
that series.
Bad team to beat up on.
Yeah, it's a sneaky, not bad team.
They have good pieces, but like
they're scrappy.
They're competitive.
They're not the Marlins.
They're not the Marlins. Okay.
We'll talk about that series as we get closer. TBD, guys. TBD on that one. Let's put a pin in it and come back. So let's see. Sweep, if that's going to happen. And for all of you guys that are tuned in today, stay connected. We're going to be giving out some more giveaways. We had some giveaways tonight. Congrats to those that won the tickets tonight. We've got more giveaways coming your way at these events and live shows and things. So K-Red, Barbara, Jackie Moon, Kryptone, Mickey, Jose, Kevin, everybody in the chat, hit that thumbs up button on your way out the door. Thanks so much for tuning in to our live show here at Manayunk Brewing Company. And thanks to Manayunk Brewing Company for allowing us to hang out here, have some fun, have some Miller Lite, some great food,
Thank you, Miller Lite.
great times, great vibes. Jamie's going to go Uber home because he needs a DD. And we'll see you guys Monday, 11 a.m. So for Tyler, Jamie, myself, have a fantastic weekend. Let's go Phillies. Get that sweep. Get some sleep. And we'll see you on Monday. Read 'em and weep. Ooh.
We all silly like the mayor.